Good evening, everyone. Am I audible, Ankon? Okay, I'm not trying to show the screen because I'm not somehow for some reasons I'm not able to adjust it. There could be some technical specifications. Maybe I'm trying to understand, but it's not working at my end. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so for those of you who do not have the paper, I've shared the link in the chat. You can open the paper at your end. Okay, the first link is the question paper. The second link which I have shared is for the question answers of Julius Caesar Act 1. Those who have not yet taken access of that, you can do that. Yes, and you can obviously get access to the question papers which have been carefully curated as per the board pattern, and there are lots of resources which I have shared in the question bank, so you can definitely take access of that. Many of you already have it, many of you still may not have it. That's the reason I thought that it's a good platform for me to share. Okay. All right, so we are beginning with the first part of the specimen paper, which is the MCQ. Okay, so the first question, why does Cassius send notes through Cinna at the end of Act 1? Is it A, B, C or D? Why does Cassius send notes through Cinna at the end of Act 1? So the answer for this is, what is the answer? Is it A, to warn Caesar? Of course not. To assure Brutus? No. To remind Caesar to meet? No. To convince Brutus that the Romans needed him. So answer is D option. The second one, why does Brutus oppose the idea of including Cicero in their group? Because Cicero never follows anything that other people begin. It's a C answer, C option. If you remember that he tells that Cicero never follows what other people usually begin. Please share this video with others, with your friends, because this is a very important video, and lots of children may not have access to this paper, and also I don't think that you will get the answers which I'm sharing right now. It's like an open book for all of you. You can just directly learn the answers through this video. So please share this video as much as possible with your friends, and of course make sure that you listen to the video till the end, because I'm going to clear a lot of other doubts also. The third one, yes, the third one, why does, oh, that's done. I would have had thee there and here again before I can tell thee what thou shouldest do there. These lines tell us that Portia is feeling what? Angry, weak, sad or anxious. Okay, what is Portia feeling? She is feeling anxious. So the answer is D option. Which of the following reflects Caesar's arrogance? Danger knows well, go bid the priest, for thy humor I shall stay at home. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Yes, so which is the answer for this? Danger knows full well Caesar is more dangerous. So that is the answer. Yes, hello Shabnik. And we move on to the next one. Which of the following lines reflects Caesar's arrogance? That is done. Next, fifth one. Select the option that shows the correct relation between statements 1 and 2. Now, you have to be prepared for such kind of questions. Usually, these questions were given in CBSE, but now ICSE has also started giving this question. This is actually, apparently, if you see the question, you may be a little nervous, but I would say if you just have a calm mind and try to solve this, you will see it's actually very easy. So these are like cause and effect questions. What is the cause and what is the effect of that cause? What is the consequence of that cause? So the cause is Flavius fears that Caesar's growing powers would result in a life of servitude for all Romans. Servitude means everybody will behave like slaves. And for that, what does Flavius tell Marullus? He tells that they would have to take all the decorations of Caesar's statues. So statement 2 is the cause for statement 1. So you have to be prepared for these kind of questions, because you will get these kind of questions. That is the reason they have given this kind of specimen paper to you, so that you know you are quite prepared with all this. All right. Okay, we move on to the next one. What are the commoners celebrating in Act 1, Scene 1? Now you all may be a little doubtful with this answer, because you apparently 2-3 options seem to be correct. So let me understand from both those who are watching, that which option would you go here? What are the commoners celebrating in Act 1, Scene 1? Yes. What are the commoners celebrating? Shagnik has told C. The Feast of Lupercal. Okay. What about others? Is that the answer? Is C the answer? A. Now you are telling A. Okay. So which one is the answer? Please share this video with others so that everybody can go through these answers. I would like all of you to share this video as much as possible. Okay. Yes, the answer is A. All of you are going with A. Some are also going with C. See, if you, now the reason why would you go with A? Because when in the first act, when the commoners were asked the reason why are you rejoicing over here, what answer does he give? He tells that we are here, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph. So if we go with this statement, then we have to choose option A. Why sons of Pompey? Because he has also told over here, and do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? If you remember the speech of Marullus, so Pompey's blood refers to the sons of Pompey. Therefore, we are going to go with the A option. Yes, Feast of Lupercal is also there, but that is not the reason that the commoners tell that they are rejoicing here. They never say that we are here for the Feast of Lupercal. Rather, they say that we are here to rejoice in Caesar's triumph. That's the reason. Yes, Pompey's blood refers to Pompey's sons. Okay. All right. So we move on to the next question. Choose the option that lists the sequence of events in the correct order. This is from Bonku Babu. Now for Bonku Babu, not only for Bonku Babu, for all the lessons, you have to read the lesson 100 times if you want to be very thorough with the content. If you want to be very thorough with the content, please read the lesson multiple times. Okay, so which option would you go over here? Although it was a dark moonless night, Bonku Babu chose to take the shortcut home. Of course, that is the first one, right? Now, if that is the first one, then we have only C and D to find the correct answer. See, now when you are going for multiple choice questions, you have to eliminate the wrong ones. Don't be confused with all the options together. So first of all, eliminate the wrong one. So the first two are wrong. We are not going to go with that. Right? We are not going to go with that. So therefore, we have to choose between C and D. So now let's see what is there in the C and the D option. So in the C and the D option, it is, he grew uneasy as he became aware of an eerie silence that had suddenly descended on the world. So therefore, it's very clear that C is the correct option. Alright, yes, no, not D. C is the correct option, because first there was a silence and then he felt something is wrong. Yeah, okay. All right. See, the first live session ended for some technical issues. So please share this link with others so that they can also view this video. I don't know. I am not able to. The split screen didn't work for me. I don't know why. What is the reason today? Okay. Anyways, we move on to the next one. The bowls never needed washing because the boys cleaned them with their spoon until they shone. This line means what? Yes. Is it A, B, C or D? The boys enjoyed washing their bowls. No, of course they never enjoyed washing. The boys never got enough to eat. We know this could be one of the answers. The boys wanted to keep their bowls shiny. Is there anything mentioned in the story like that? No. The boys did not enjoy washing bowls. So it's very clear that B is the correct answer. So B is the correct answer, all of you. I hope it is clear. Yes. Alright, now we move on to the next one. The next one is how did the manager of People Nagar Bank try to pacify the crowd? Yes, is it A, B, C or D? Now in my class I think I have not done this lesson, the boy who broke the bank, but many of you must have done it already. So the manager of People Nagar Bank tried to pacify the crowd by urging the crowd to come back the next day. By requesting the crowd to come back the next day. That is the answer. Okay, so C is the answer. Next we go with the last, the 10th one. At the end of the story Homecoming, what does it mean? Mother, the holidays have come. What does he mean? This means that he would be free of the miseries of life. And how he is going to be free? Of course, he will die. We know that it's a tragic ending to the story. So he dies at the end. So the answer for this is the B one. The 11th one, Alan Trevor gave Hughie entry to his studio because he liked his generous recklessness. It is already mentioned in the story. See, you just have to read the story multiple times so that you can immediately capture the keywords. The keywords are extremely important. Okay, all right. So the next one we move on to. 11th one is the A answer, generous recklessness. It is mentioned in the story. The 12th one, the doctor's journal entry for August 6, 1945, describes the devastation caused by the what? Is it earthquake, tidal waves, volcanic eruption? No, it's atomic explosion in the lives of ordinary people. So the 12th one is the A option. I am really sorry, I'm not able to share the paper, so I have shared the link at the beginning in the chat. So those who do not have access to the paper later on also, many of you would be watching this. Many of you would be watching this video. So please go and click the link which I have shared in the chat, and there you will see the question paper. Okay, all right. And the next one, what according to Marge Pierce is should begin very early with living creatures? What should begin? What should begin? Yes, for the 13th one, those who have done work of artifice, can you tell me? What is the answer for this? Trimming their branches. Yes, trimming their branches is the correct answer. Alright, the next one is which of the following contains the figure of speech that appears in the following line? Where the sun came peeping in at morn. Sun came peeping. How can sun peep? Peeping is a human activity. First of all, you have to identify the figure of speech which is there given. It's a very simple example of personification. Sun cannot peep, right? Human beings, children, usually they peep. Alright, so for sun came peeping, it's an example of personification, and the answer is tossing their heads in sprightly dance. B. For the 14th one, B is the answer. Okay, we move on to the next one. Which of the following task is not performed by Skimbleshanks in the poem? 15th one. Supervision of the driver, supervision of the guard, supervision of the bagman, supervision of the police. 15th one. Let me see what you all give. 15th one. 15th one is the D option, correct. The poem Night Mail highlights the importance of what? A good postal system, the human desire to stay connected, a strong industrial town, traveling by train at night. Of course, it's very easy. It's the B option, the human desire to stay connected. Everybody wants to stay connected with each other, and that's the reason this is the Night Mail has a lot of importance in the lives of people. Okay, so I hope the MCQ is clear, and this is how MCQ will be asked in your exams. Now we move on to section B. We'll first do the drama part, Julius Caesar. The first extract is of Calpurnia. Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. This is the part where Calpurnia is trying to stop Julius Caesar from going to the Senate because she has a terrible nightmare. Okay, so therefore she warns Julius Caesar, please don't go out. Where are the speakers? Where are the speakers? They are in a room in Caesar's house. Describe the weather outside. The weather outside is very terrible. There's a terrible storm. There have been strange happenings which are reported. There's a tempest. You can use the word which is already given in the text. Now, description of the weather. For this, you have to relate back to Act 1, Scene 3. All of you must remember that it's the same time period which is being carried out. The same night has been reported multiple times in various scenes. In scene 3 also it has been reported. Okay, so in scene 3 the weather is the same scene that is the same weather which Calpurnia is talking about. So therefore you can take examples from there as well. Because the weather's description is not given by Calpurnia. She talks of strange happenings. That will come in question number 2. Alright, so the weather was terrible. There was a tempest. There was an earthquake where the earth was shaking like a thing unfirm. If you remember those lines, you have to talk about all that over here. Third part, what is Calpurnia trying to prevent Caesar from doing? Of course, she wants to prevent Caesar from going to the Senate. All of you please share the video with your friends as much as possible so that everybody can get access to these videos, the question answers. And the question link is shared in the chat. On the top of the chat I have tried to share that. Okay, all right. So now we move on to the next question. State 2 unusual things Calpurnia had heard of that made her fearful. Now she has reported a number of things which she had heard from someone. So the first one you can talk about, there are multiple things. A lioness had whelped in the streets. As much as possible use words from the text. You need to impress the teacher who is correcting your paper that you have read the text very thoroughly. So make sure that you use a lot of keywords in your answers. I wanted to also tell this thing today that literature is all about keywords. Now those who are having doubts about, ma'am, what is keyword? Keyword means the words which have been used in the text. You have to use the same words. Okay? You don't have to decode everything in your own words. Your all creativity will be shown in the English language paper. But in the literature, as much as you can depict the text, that would be very beneficial for all of you. So the first one is lioness had whelped. Second one, you can talk about graves have opened, dead bodies are walking out. There is also a fight which was going on in the clouds. You can even talk about that. Any two you will write. What nightmare had she had? She had a terrible nightmare where she talks about that she has seen Caesar's statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts is gushing blood from everywhere. This is the nightmare which she had. Now again, who describes the nightmare? Does Calpurnia describe the nightmare? If you have read the text, does she describe the nightmare? No. It is described by whom? Not Shakespearean language. I'm talking about the word. You don't have to use thou, you, air. No, you don't have to use the Shakespearean language. You have to use the words like tempest. Okay. Yes, you have to use those words. You don't have to use the old English. You have to use the specific words. Which are the key words? See, Shakespearean language doesn't mean you will use words like thou and yawn. No, you will not use those words. Okay. All right. Next, we move on to what nightmare had she had? I did not get this answer from all of you, so I am only giving the answer. The nightmare that she had, who had seen? It was reported by Julius Caesar that my wife had a nightmare. And to whom did he tell that? He told it to Decius. Third one, how did Caesar calm his wife's fears? So here you can talk about that Caesar said that people should not be afraid of death because death is a necessary end. It will come when it will come. Why should people scared of death? And also he said that he is not prone to any danger because he is more dangerous than danger. This is how he calms his wife's fears. What does Calpurnia mean by your wisdom is consumed in confidence? This means that he is very arrogant. He is very arrogant and he has lost his all logic and reason. His intelligence is consumed in his overconfidence. Therefore, he is not able to understand what is good and what is bad for him. This is what you have to write in this answer. Fourth one, how does Decius interpret Calpurnia's dream? Yes, how does he interpret Calpurnia's dream? He tells that it's actually a very good dream. It's a very fortunate dream. Right? Caesar's people are actually reviving. They are regaining their vitality and strength from Caesar's blood. And they are collecting those tinctures, souvenirs as a remembrance, as a token of appreciation from everyone. So this is how Decius has interpreted the dream. He said that it's actually a very fair and fortunate dream. What does Caesar finally decide? He decides to go to the Senate. What can you infer about his character from this decision? Of course, what is his character? Now here you have to talk about the character traits. Character traits, what will you write? Arrogant, overconfident. He enjoys absolute power and therefore he thinks that he is not prone to any danger, which is his foolishness. Mention two aspects of Calpurnia's character. She is worried about her husband's well-being. This is the main aspect of character which has to come. She is a concerned and caring wife and she is concerned, worried about Julius Caesar's well-being because of course as a husband she is worried about him. Second aspect, you can also say that she is also superstitious. But the primary aspect is she is a concerned wife and she is worried about Julius Caesar's well-being. Okay, the next one, the first extract is over. The next one, Brutus, what means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar their king. Where are Brutus and Cassius? Yes, they are in a public place. This is from Act 1, so everybody should be thorough with this. What does Brutus fear is the reason for this shouting. He fears that probably they are crowning Julius Caesar and that is the reason he is scared. Later he hears a second shout. What does this think about? What does he think? He thinks that new honors are being heaped on Caesar. He thinks that new honors are being heaped on Caesar. So please, it is already mentioned in the text. You have to just read the text very, very thoroughly. Okay. All right, we move on to the next one. Later in the scene, how do Brutus and Cassius come to know of the actual reason? Who gives them? Casca gives them the details. And how had they drawn this man's attention? They had plucked Casca by the sleeve. They had pulled him by the sleeve because they wanted to know what happened over there, and that's the reason how they got the details. I would not Cassius, yet I love him well. What does this reveal about his mental state? This shows that he was very troubled, he was vexed. Now the word vexed, vexed is already given in the text. You have to use the word vexed because vexed means what? Confused, perplexed. So Brutus was vexed. His mind was in a turmoil. He was going through internal conflicts. He was suffering from mental worries. All this you have to write when you're asked about Brutus's state of mind. Where did he say this? He only said this earlier in the scene. In the beginning of the conversation with Cassius, this is what he had said. Fourth one, what does Cassius say to prove that Caesar was as weak as any other human being? If you remember this, he had said that on a cold, stormy day, when he had challenged Julius Caesar to swim, both of them they had swum to a particular point, and after that Caesar was about to drown because he was physically exhausted, and he, like Aeneas, had actually saved him from drowning, and he had brought him safely to the shore. So this shows that actually he is weak as any other human being, and he is not to be worshipped like God, which the Roman people, the common people are doing. That's wrong. He's nothing God-like. He's actually very vulnerable and very weak, just like any other human being. State any one physical disability of Caesar's that is mentioned in this scene. Now, what is mentioned in this scene? Can anyone tell me this answer? What is mentioned in this scene? What physical disability was mentioned of Julius Caesar? Yes. Julius Caesar, he has the falling sickness. It was mentioned that he had the falling sickness, and you are only going to write that. Whatever is mentioned in the text, you will try only depend on that. It is very like he hath the falling sickness. That means he suffers from epilepsy. Yes, he was deaf. But where is it mentioned? If it is mentioned, then you please write. Is it mentioned in the scene? He was deaf in the left ear. We know that yes, he was short of hearing in the left ear. The question is, talk about his disability, whatever is mentioned. So accordingly, you have to write the answer. Important character traits of Cassius. What can you write for Cassius? He was a shrewd contriver. He was suffering from insane jealousy. Just because of hatred and insane jealousy, he hatched a plot of conspiracy. He was the mastermind who hatched the plot of conspiracy against Julius Caesar because he hated him like anything. And that is the reason we can say that he was very shrewd and very cunning, full of envy. Okay, all right. So that is the question for character traits of Cassius. Now, what is your opinion of the man? Mention any two character traits. So you will mention any two. You can write he was having a lot of hatred. He was very practical. Any two character traits, you can even see he was very practical because he actually warned Brutus for many things, which Brutus did not take because Brutus, we know, was an idealist. Comparatively, Cassius is more practical. What is your opinion of the man? Now here you can talk about that my opinion of the man is that he is very jealous of Julius Caesar, and it is because of this jealousy he hatched a plot. Okay, probably he didn't have a personal motive. The only personal motive is that he couldn't tolerate Caesar's growing power. Now this is a personal response question, so you can add the words probably. I think that probably this is how it is. Alright, okay. The next one, now we move on to the short story sections. I think I have already released a video prior to this, so you all can listen to that. Let's move on to the poetry section. A doctor's journal entry. We have done this. All the videos, all the explanation videos are already there on the channel. Anytime you feel that you need to revise it, please go ahead, listen to the video, revise line by line. Explanation is provided for all the topics. And Julius Caesar Act 3 is also released. Yes, now for the time being the Act 3 videos are under the membership level. So those who want to go ahead, and because if you feel that your school is going ahead and you need to learn the explanation prior, you can obviously go ahead and take the membership. The videos are already posted there and you can start learning, because you should never take a pause from learning. Alright, because there are many students, those who are in degree colleges, they also have Julius Caesar. Okay, so for them I have already started making the videos of Act 3, so it's already there. For the students of school, grade 10th has Act 3, but some school has already started Act 3 9th as well, towards the end of 9th. Okay, let's move on to doctor's journal entry. Who made this journal entry? Now I got an answer. Somebody wrote Vikram Seth made this journal entry. Is it correct? No. Can we write Vikram Seth made this journal entry? Who made the journal entry? The journal entry is made by a doctor who was a victim of the atomic bomb explosion. Okay, next one. What is the significance of the date in the title of the poem? It was on this date that there was a bomb explosion, atomic bomb explosion in the two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it is given in your textbook, the introductory part. The first page of the introduction, the last 3-4 lines, please, you can write that. During the end of Second World War, on 6th August 1945, United States of America had dropped the atom bombs on Hiroshima. So this is the significance of the title of the poem, because in the title the date is mentioned, 6th August 1945. How does the narrator describe the morning? The morning is very pleasant, very peaceful. When he begins the poem, he tells that the morning is calm, beautiful and warm. It's a very pleasant morning and the narrator was relaxing in his home. What physical injuries does the narrator suffer? What was the injury? There was a splinter which jutted from his mangled thigh, that was one. His artery, the blood gushed out of his artery. These are the physical injuries which he suffered. Mention 3 of the shocking sights he observed as he looked around that morning. The first time when he stumbled upon a dead man's, the skull, I think, a skeleton. Yeah, when he saw it was a head, he had stumbled upon a head of a dead man. That was a very shocking sight for him. The second thing was when he saw a woman standing, and she had a child in her path and she was standing naked. So this was also another shocking sight. And then he also saw a naked man standing, and that's when he realized that some strange thing had stripped them of their clothes. There are a couple of shocking sights. You can write any 3 of them. What is the tone used by the poet to describe the shocking events? The tone is that of shock and surprise, and the mood is very somber, very dull and very sad. What is the mood conveyed by the last lines of the poem? Silence was common to us all. I heard no cries of anguish or a single word. Sometimes the sorrow is so deep, the shock is so terrible that we lose our power of expression. And this is what happened to the victims of the atomic bomb explosion. Okay, all right. We move on to the next poem, which is I Remember by Thomas Hood. What does the poet recall at the beginning of the poem? What does he recall? He recalls the couple of things: his beautiful home, the sun coming on time, never being late. What does he wish for at the end of the stanza? He wishes that. Now, end of the stanza means the beginning of the first stanza. So what does he wish? That night had taken my breath away. He wanted to die. He doesn't want to live any longer. That is what he wishes for at the end of the stanza. What words does the poet use to create a sense of nostalgia? He uses the words I remember. Repeatedly he uses the word I remember to create a sense of nostalgia. What memories of the garden does he mention in the second stanza? What are the memories that he talks about in the second stanza? About the garden, he remembers the brightly colored flowers, the roses, red and white, the violets, the lily cups. He also remembers the lilacs where the robin built its nest, and also the place where his brother set the laburnum tree on his birthday. The tree is living yet. What is the significance of this line? The significance of this line is that the tree is living, but the people around him, those who were there during his childhood days, they are no longer there with him. So the memories are still alive. The memories are very fresh in his mind. But he misses the people. He misses those days. Who planted the tree? I just said brother, and it was on his birthday. The poet uses various kinds of images. Give one example for each of the following. For the sight, what does he use? Yes, let me see what you can answer for this. For the sight, which images he uses? If you think this video is helpful, all of you can please click the like button, and those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, when I get the answers, I'm trying to see how many of you are here. I think the last live session actually had a problem, and there were people who were actually looking forward for this. Anyways, this video is going to be there on the channel. Anytime you can go and watch it. Alright. Yes. What images of the sight he has said? Lot of imagery is there in the poem. A lot of imagery is there. One example for each of the following. Sight. You can talk about the garden. He remembers the garden. He remembers the house. These are all sight imagery. The sound imagery is the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. That's the sound of the air which he hears. So this is the sound imagery. And the touch imagery is summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. The summer pools could hardly cool. That means in those days when he was a child, a dip in the pool would immediately release his stress. He would be rejuvenated. He would feel very relaxed and nice. But now his life is so much in anguish that even even the summer pool is unable to release his pain and his anxiety from his life. So these are the three imagery that you can talk about. Now the last question is the theme of the poem. Poet compares two stages of his life in the poem. What are they? The first stage is the childhood, and the second stage is the adulthood. And here we can say that childhood is the best part of a person's life, because those are the days when you are carefree, you are very happy, you are in a joyous mood, you don't have any responsibilities. It's a playful time for everyone. It's the best time of a person's life. On the other hand, adulthood is filled with responsibilities, commitments, which makes a person stressed, and he feels a lot of pain and anguish in his life. His life becomes very painful, as we can see from the poet's perspective. So what are the moods? The first mood is childhood, joy, delight, happiness, and mood for adulthood is sadness, anxiety, tension. These are the moods that you can associate with each one of them. Okay? All right. So I hope the specimen paper was clear, and if you have, I know that I am already late today, but yes, if you have a couple of questions, you can ask me. Any doubts, if you all have, you can ask me. This video is mainly for the ICSE grade 9 students. It was a discussion of the specimen paper. Those who don't have the paper, I repeat, it is there. I have pinned the link on top of the chat. Okay, so yeah, it is there. You can take access of that. And those who haven't taken access of the questions of Act 1, I have also shared the link. It is there in the chat once again. So please, you can go ahead, click that. It comes at a very reasonable price. So you can definitely go and take that. Any doubts you all have, you can ask me. If you think this video was helpful, please do click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yes, help me reach 10,000 subscribers, because yes, the more I reach out to students, the more I reach out to people, it would be good for me to move ahead in my mission of helping students all over. Any questions? Okay, so if I don't have any questions, then let me end the session today. Thank you for everyone. Which workbook should we use for English 2 poems and stories? I think Evergreen is the one which the board usually prescribes, so you can go with the Evergreen one. Okay, is any workbook prescribed from the school? No. And those who want me to solve any paper which has been given in your school, you can share the paper in my on my mail. I will conduct a live session and I will discuss the question answers in the live session. Okay, so if you want me to share any specific paper, if you want to discuss the question answers of any specific question paper from your school, please mail me the question paper and I will conduct a live session where I will discuss the answers line by line, so that the more papers we solve, the more papers will be solved, you will get a lot of practice. But yes, only one request, you have to send me the paper in a PDF form on my Gmail. This is the Gmail address which I have given. You can send me the paper and I will conduct a session. Alright? Yes, Ankon, Evergreen Publications workbook, you can take access of that. Okay, thank you so much for joining in, and yes, thank you for the live session, thank you for joining, and thank you for answering my questions. Have a great day everyone. Good night.